The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 4 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 3 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 2 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 1 minute. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 30 seconds. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2.
One mic.
I'm back.
It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. Live.
There ain't no goddamn tape.
Interactive and on demand. One Mic. Yeah, a sports show.
The best move of LeBron's career, man, was dragging his sweaty ball sack right across Draymond Green's the nape of his neck and getting that dude suspended.
And so much more.
What's going on right now with Donald Trump? This is America, and it tickles me to death when white people are so shocked and appalled by it.
What? It's the One Mic with Big Mike show.
Of course, it's like anything, like ammonia or you sniffing glue is gonna get you high.
You've been warned. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts now. Here he is.
He's real cocky, he's real loudmouth, he's real flamboyant. He don't cow down to people.
Big Mike.
Hump Day. It is Hump Day, and this is the One Mic with Big Mike show. I, of course, am Big Mike, being heard live right now via Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com. Spreaker also has an app. If you want to take me with you, go ahead into your app store and download that. You can also hear the show live on TuneIn. You can also hear the show on demand if you happen to miss any of the show or you got to duck out early. You can hear it on demand on any of the platforms I've already mentioned or on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. The show is also streaming live video on my Facebook page via Facebook Live. You can go there right now to at the number one, MICWITHBIGMIKE, One Mic with Big Mike if you want to check that out. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the same handle. If you like to be a part of the show and get your comments and your criticisms and your questions heard, you can do so in a variety of different ways. You can do so, one, by texting me at 404-902-8104. You're going to definitely need that number today because it is Wednesday. It is the day we get ready for another week of fantasy football. This week, helping us get ready for this week of fantasy football will be Jamie Zadow. I think it's Zadow. It may be Zadow. I'm going to have to ask him when I get him on the line. He's from the Across the Fantasy Pond podcast. He's the co-host of that show, so he'll be joining me to try to get us, or at least me, back on track this week in fantasy football. If you got questions, if you got lineup issues, if you want to know if you should trade a certain player or who you should be probably trying to pick up on your waiver wire, if you got any buys this week, he'll answer all those questions at the bottom of the hour. Just text them to me at 404-902-8104. You can also jump inside my live and interactive chat room via Spreaker. If you're listening to the show via Spreaker right now, just click the little thought bubble icon that you see on the streaming player to get you inside this chat room. We can chop it up about not only fantasy football, but whatever garbage comes out of my mouth today, because it is a Wednesday. Not a whole lot of, necessarily pertinent things going on in the world of sports today. So we just kind of sprayed all fields, get Jamie on, get him out of here, and end the show. That's pretty much how it's going to go today. Speaking of the show, like I already mentioned, we got a guest at the bottom of the hour to talk some fantasy football with me, which means at the top of the next hour, 8 o'clock if you're listening live, we'll do the feature that I do every day called On This Day, or every show called On This Day, where I give you guys some factoids and tidbits on historical feats that happened on this particular day in history in the world of sports. As far as content goes, like I said, there's a lot of little things going on, but nothing real big. We're going to talk a little bit about some basketball. Of course, the NFL still kind of king. So we'll talk about that, and some nasty ass pizza, all in the same vein. College basketball started. How about that? I'm not big on college basketball, man. I'm a little bit bigger on college basketball than I am on baseball as far as viewing, but it's kind of the same technique, kind of just wait till it really matters, which is tournament time. All the stuff that's going on right now. And shout out to college basketball, doing all these little mini tournaments to make it seem like things are important. These early season tournaments, shout out to them. But you can't fool me. Who we had play last night? We had Duke and Michigan State play last night. We had Kentucky and Kansas play last night. Those were the headliners last night. I may have caught 30 seconds of each game. But we got some other college basketball stuff to talk about as well. But first, I try to lead the show with these things so I don't have to, break any momentum that I may have. So if you're wondering why does he always talk about this type of stuff first? The type of stuff I'm talking about. There was another shooting, what I'm going to call, if nobody else going to do it, another terrorist attack out in California. Some nutbag decided that he wanted to, I just read before the show started. I was reading about it before the show started. Killed his wifey. I guess put her in the basement killed the lady next door who already had a restraining order on him, start shooting at the neighbors, tried to bust up in a school and hurt the babies. You know what I'm saying? And, nothing really to talk about. Your man, y'all presidents on TV talking about he want these basketball players. He's wondering if they gonna thank him. Dude, come on, man. Like, when we gonna start talking about the real stuff, these guns? Because it's getting real out of hand. I don't know what to say about the media and their coverage of it. I do believe that it encourages these wackos to do this stuff, over and over again. I don't think it takes much to convince somebody that's already crazy to do some crazy stuff, because the mental health thing came up, and his family is saying he's had mental health issues for the longest while, but yet he was able to find a gun, and a gun enough to kill 10 people and hurt numerous others. And then if it wasn't just for the fact that the school kind of knew about what was going on and put the school on lockdown, he was going to dead some more people. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. I'm not to beat my head up against the wall type dude, even because I know how this game is being played. I'm not going to tell that lie. I have a slight understanding of how this game is being played, and it's being played on a couple of different fronts. It's being played on one front, convincing people that their votes even matter in the slightest little bit of a bit. When in all actuality, all these guns, these mass shootings and everything, it shows you right up front the stuff with the healthcare stuff, money and lobbies is what runs this country. That's the game that's being played. If you're not in one of those games, you're at the mercy of whatever these people want to do to you. These people have been shut down this healthcare thing like a million times. They still ain't stopping, because they figure eventually it'll pop. You know what I mean? We'll keep running up the middle over and over and over again, and eventually it'll pop. Yeah. But anyway, on to the world of sports. Today, the kids that got left in China, LiAngelo Ball and the other two kids, that's pretty much what they are. They're the other two kids. And I don't have their name. I didn't put their names on my sheet today, so guess what? There's just going to be LiAngelo Ball and the other two freshman teammates of his from UCLA. They came back to America today from China before they can even touch the ground. You got your man, I'm saying, the orange dude in the White House. I wonder if they're going to thank me for what I did. First of all, let me tell y'all something. The only people that are saying that from what I saw, maybe somebody else got some different information on this. The only people that are saying that he did anything are him and his people. That he even talked to Xi Jinping. I think that's how you say his name. I ain't trying to be funny. I just think that's how you say his name. The president of China, about these kids. So they sent him home with a warning, not even a slap on the wrist, a warning. And before they could even touch ground, your man's on Twitter. I wonder if they're going to thank me for what I did for them. It's like, man, come on, B. How you be such a bad guy and so transparent? You know what I'm saying? Like it's all about these stupid black kids and how grateful they need to be to me, the man who wields the power. Because you know what? These guys were facing 10 years. You don't know that. You don't know that. They hadn't even had an arraignment or any of those things. You know what was written, and what was written was 3 to 10 years. But of course, him being the bombastic idiot that he is, he always got to go over the top and go to the very, very max. They were going to go to jail for 10 years if it wasn't for me. Shut up, fool, idiot. So today I saw the press conference. You know what I mean? I ain't even get no sound from it, because after I heard what I didn't want to hear, and maybe it's just because I'm so rebellious. You know what I'm saying? Like when you mention apology, that's when I'm not gonna give you one, just because you said so. But these cats got on stage and they had their written statements and whatnot, and they apologized to everybody. Talked about what they did. Here's the thing too that I'm always talking about when these kids get in trouble, when anybody gets in trouble, unless it's truly a mistake, something that you didn't mean to do, you can't call it a mistake. You can't continuously call it a mistake. Now, the Ball kid, LiAngelo Ball, he said mistake a few times, but the majority of the time he kept saying this stupid decision that I made. That's a more accurate description of what happened. Did nobody trip and end up with some Louis Vuitton sunglasses in their pocket? Nah, man, it wasn't no mistake. You did it on purpose. You did it with clear thought and clear mind, thinking that you was gonna get away from it. The only mistake was getting caught. But no one's feeling sorry for you if you call him that a mistake. No, the way he described it in the majority of his statement by saying, it was a stupid mistake. It was young and it was stupid. He said being young wasn't an excuse. He's right. You know what I'm saying? Because they know better. They know right from wrong. But, being 18, temporal lobe not fully developed, as far as, you hear these brain experts who talk about, the developing minds and brains of children. Yeah, all these things, impulse control, feeling like you can get away with stuff, feeling invincible, all those things play into these type of things. Fortunately for them, they didn't have to spend not a minute in Chinese jail, because the stories I've read about those hellholes, they're exactly that. They're hellholes. So I guess what's happening now is they're going to be suspended indefinitely, which is, what does that mean? To me, that sounds like we're going to suspend these dudes until everything else dies down, till, the season kind of kicks off and some things happen positively, because college basketball had a rough couple of months, weeks or whatever here. From the Rick Pitino stuff and the Adidas scandal and the coaches getting indicted on the Fed charges to now these kids going over to China while the president is there. Somebody's president, not mine, is there stealing from high end places. Now, I think from what I read, it was more than Louis Vuitton too. They went into a couple of other those. I don't know the I know them when I see them, but I can't just recite the names of the the designers off the top of my head. I don't rock that kind of stuff. I'm not. My pockets ain't that way. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing I wanted to talk about was what I kind of alluded to a little bit earlier. That the thing that kind of just bugs me is that I'm not 100% sure that if these was 3 white kids, that Donald Trump would have the same type of attitude towards them. You know what I'm saying? It felt like I'm not doing it. If let me say, if he did this, if he is the person who put the bug in your man's ear, the Chinese president's ear, and the Chinese president did his thing to get these kids sent home. If it was in fact that he did this, I have no reason to believe that he did this for these kids because they were Americans. You know what I'm saying? I have no reason to believe that. I have a reason to believe that it gave him an opportunity to feel like the supremacist that he is. Watch me swoop in, and the only person that can save these 3 black kids is me, Orange Man. Nah, I'm good. That's why I was so quick. That's why he was so quick to be like, yeah, let's see if they thank me for this. Come on, man, miss me with the dumb. Like, the odds are, man, these kids were going to thank. Because I read to y'all the other day that the State Department was going to step in and try to help them as best they could. So the odds are that they were going to thank the U.S. government anyway. But then, a few minutes after this man makes this tweet, his actual name, finds his way into their written, prepared statements. I was looking for this to turn a different way, to be honest with you. I was looking for this to turn out a whole different way. I was going to look for him to do that with his black twin, LeVar. And either one, LeVar use it as, and this might still happen, use it as a as PR for his t-shirt company, which is what I call it. Y'all can call it whatever y'all want to. To me, it's a t-shirt company with a couple of pair of shoes attached to it. But anyway, and then I was going to watch all y'all hit social media and rip LeVar a new one. But then today, another idea came to my head. I guess it was from Deadspin or Bro Bible, one of them. They was like, after the tweet came out, that he pretty much said Trump was basically demanding an apology, or not apology, gratitude and thank you. I was like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now you asking for the ball boy to be humble. Not because this kid, from what I understand, he's the meeker of, not the meeker. He is as soft spoken as the older boy, but a little bit more to the back as far as being in the spotlight. So with that being said, I'm thinking this is going straight to dad. And I was like, oh, let him say something. Let them get into a Twitter war or something between him and LeVar Ball. Now, I'll tune in for that foolishness because these are two birds of the same damn feather. But that didn't happen. The kids, they humbled themselves and did their thing or whatever. So I was so disappointed. After I heard it come out the first boy's mouth, and then the other two had the same statements. I was like, golly. They just don't make defiant kids the way they used to. And I guess you can't really be defiant, man, because you was 100% in the wrong. So you can't really be on some like, F that. I mean, even though it's not like they're going to send you back to China. You here now. But anyway, that's 18-year-old Mike talking. This is the One Mike with Big Mike show, by the way. The chat room is wide open, man. My man, I Am No Dose, is joining the show via the chat room. You guys can jump on in as well. Just click the little thought bubble that you see on your streaming player if you're listening via Spreaker or that Spreaker app. You can also text me at 404-902-8104. My man, Jamie Zadow, the co-host of the Across the Fantasy Pond podcast, is going to join me at the bottom of the hour. Some kind of reason, Rob Grimwood apparently forgot his wife's birthday was today. God, I thought I was a terrible husband. I'm getting a run for my money. Maybe they do things differently over there across the pond, though. But no, he offered up his man Jamie Zadow, his co-host, for sacrifice today. So we'll take that. I Am No Dose is saying Grayson Allen did get an indefinite suspension, and it was one game. That's why it's just one of those things, those tools that these people use. Indefinite suspension, like that used to mean like you're gonna be in suspension for, like my mom, like if my mama ever told me, she wouldn't use those words, but I was on punishment indefinitely, bruh, we might see seasons change. It might be like fall, oh, there's winter, spring is here, it's summertime, ma, can I go outside? Like that's indefinitely. These folks use that stuff as a matter of saying, okay, what's the next game we need them in? You know what I'm saying? What's the next big game? Or has this stuff died? Has the controversy died down yet? And then the suspension's over. That's what happened with Grayson Allen. With Grayson Allen, it hadn't even died down yet. Mike Krzyzewski was like, oh, wait a minute. League play. We got to get our best player in the game. And he was back. Simple as that. I don't know. Speaking of Grayson Allen, that dude hit for 37 points last night. I did tune in long enough to see that happen. That happened. 37 points last night, and it really doesn't move me in any real way. I know it's 37 points, and my mind and my basketball heart wants to say 37 is 37. Especially when the last guy was J.J. Redick, who got 40 for Duke way back in 06 or whatever. Like, I'm supposed to appreciate that. But it's hard for me to do it, man. This 23-year-old grown man who was supposed to be in the league like last year or the year before last, and he's still in college basketball playing against people's 17, 18-year-old kids. I don't know. It just kind of feels to me like you should have 37 points. I don't know. And maybe just because it's him, too. And I feel like, he just radiates doucheness, like the douchiest kid in the world, man. Like all that stuff he was doing last year, like tripping people and diving into people's legs and all that kind of stuff. Like it just feels like douchebag, temper tantrum kid. He's gonna average like 7 points a game in the league. You know what I'm saying? But he knows he's like a USC quarterback, that always goes back for the 5th year of eligibility because he knows like life isn't gonna get any better than this for him. They talking about this kid that's there now, Darnold. He might go back to school to prove what? I don't know. But, it is good to be white in America. You tell any bruh, you're going to be one of the top 5 picks or even like one of the first at your position. First thing smoking. Teddy Bridgewater. Not Teddy Bridgewater. I always call this kid Teddy Bridgewater. Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson staying in college next year. This Floridian South Florida boy staying in college for an extra year to get hit for free again. Come on, man. The last dude I saw do that was what's that dude? Cardell Jones. And that was only because my man knew he was gonna get exposed by the process. Like all the idiots who was caught up in the emotion of him playing 3 games and winning a national championship and saying he need to go now. He need to strike while the iron is hot. Look, over the next couple months, the iron was going to get mad cold because he was going to go to somebody's combine. They were going to sit down and talk to this dude. They was going to be talking about how he got limited film and he's big and fat. Like all that stuff is going to bring his stock way down. The best thing for him to do, for him to have done, is to come back. It was in his best bet to come back. These people talking this craziness. He was going to get drafted in the 3rd round. Off of 3 games. What you think this is? Like people are like the NFL is starved for quarterbacks. I'm not really sure that they're starved that much. But since we moved on, since we're on the whole college football thing now, of course the latest edition, the latest rendition of the college football playoff rankings came out yesterday, and they go a little something like this. I'm only going to go through 6 because once you get to 7, I'm going to go through 7, I'm sorry. Because once you get to 8 and 9, doesn't really matter. Well, I don't know, maybe it does. Anyway, 1 through 7 goes like this. Bama, Clemson, Miami, Oklahoma. That's your top 4. Then you got Wisconsin sitting on the outside, still undefeated. You got Auburn sitting at number 6 with a date with Alabama in 2 weeks. A win there, I think, gets them, even though they have 2 losses and that will be 1 for Alabama, I still think that gets them, because of their SEC records and of course their head-to-head record, I think that gets them to Atlanta for the SEC championship. Then outside of that, you got Georgia at number 7, who also they got to play Georgia Tech first, but assuming they beat Georgia Tech, they find themselves as well in the Georgia Dome, or what's it called now? The Mercedes-Benz Dome. Yeah, the Mercedes-Benz Dome, playing for the SEC championship as well. Then Notre Dame, they're out of it. Ohio State, I'm hearing they still may be in it, depending on some other things that happen. I was reading this thing here. If you assume that Oklahoma, Wisconsin, Alabama, Georgia, Miami, and Clemson, they win the remainder of their regular season games, and then Oklahoma and Wisconsin win their respective conference championships, then Georgia beats Alabama in the SEC title game, while Clemson knocks off Miami, which would make Miami a 1-loss team without a conference championship, and have Clemson be a 1-loss team that 1 loss to Syracuse. They would be a 1-loss ACC champion. Then that will leave an undefeated Wisconsin team with a fairly weak resume and 5 1-loss teams. How you justify keeping Wisconsin out? They win the Big Ten undefeatedly. Of course, their resume isn't as strong, but how you justify them out or them being out? I don't know how you do it. I'm sure they'll find a way, because this isn't all about having the best 4 teams. Part of it is you want the best TV ratings too. You know what I mean? It's still a little bit of a production, and you want people to tune in for them. And like some of the worst things that could happen, like people down here feel like, man, if we can get Georgia and Alabama in the Final Four, nah, that's terrible for college football, because then all your ratings are coming from one region, from right here, 2 back-to-back states. How you think Washington got in last year, only to get their asses scrubbed by Alabama? You get that West Coast audience. Yeah, you don't want that life, man. You know, even though the Pac-12, they'll try to find a way to squeeze some Pac-12 situation in here. But if they can even go as far north as Wisconsin, so be it. Especially when you talk about a lot of people, including myself. I hadn't seen a lot of Wisconsin football this year, so I don't know how good or bad they are. I think Miami would be a hell of a draw after such a long drought out of the national spotlight. I think Miami would be a hell of a draw. Alabama, I don't know. It may be better for Alabama not to go. You know, I don't know if the people in Alabama find themselves fatigued at all with all the winning. Last year when they lost, they came home. You would have thought the people would have been waiting for the bus to tell them, congratulations. It was like 2 people out there. 2 people. They was like, F y'all. If y'all can't win championships, F you. Oh, look at here. You know what? I guess it's a different time in England because Rob Grimwood is in the chat room. He forgot his headphones, so the whole train back from London is currently listening to the show. I don't get credit for that, though. I don't get credit for you like broadcasting the situation. I was telling the people how you're giving me a run for my money on being a bad husband because you forgot your wife's birthday in the spirit of talking fantasy football with me. That's the terrible trait. I don't even know Mrs. Grimwood, but guess what? Yeah, guess what? She's a better option than me, and I can guarantee that. What up, Big L? Big L's in the chat room as well. If you want to join these guys in the chat room, it's quite simple. If you're listening right now via Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app, just click the little thought bubble icon you see on the streaming player. It'll get you right up in here. We're about to talk some fantasy football in just a second with the homie Jamie Zadow. He's the co-host of the Across the Fantasy Pond podcast. Not sure when that comes on. Oh, God. See what happens? Like, people get around me and just turn into children. You know what I mean? Just turn into just immature children. No. I'm going to tell you what. I don't know what kind of relationship y'all got. But if it's going to take dead bugging to make it up, I think that's what they call in the court system irreconcilable differences. We're going to have to go our separate ways. If whatever I do wrong, if the answer to it is dead bugging, yeah. We're going to have to figure out a way to end this amicably. What is it called? Amicably? Yeah, whatever that word is, meaning that we both just go away, go our separate ways or whatever we brought here. Oh, boy. Oh, it's Wednesday, man. It's hump day, and there's nothing to talk about. Maybe you know what I should do today? Because I'm not going to be here Friday. My parents are coming to see me tomorrow. I'm chilling out with moms and pops for the weekend. Yeah, we should just turn this into like a freestyle Wednesday. You MFers can tell me what you want to hear, what you want to talk about, because I don't know what's interesting today. Roy Moore is going to win the Senate seat, a pedophile and a child molester. That's pretty interesting. He's going to be a senator. And you know what the thing is, too? You know what's awesome about that? It doesn't even matter anymore. Because of who the president is. The president is a pussy grabber. So once you start there, everything under that is kind of like, whatever. Our president is a dude who referenced banging his own daughter. If she wasn't his daughter, like, who looks at their daughter that way? A creep. So when like these women in Congress are like, yeah, it's been a rash of sexual misconduct in Congress and the Senate or whatever. Like, who's surprised? Not me. Not at all. You give these old geezers power, they don't know how to act. They don't know how to act at all. Gee whiz, man. So yeah, this dude's gonna be a senator in Alabama, and you know how I know even more so this is gonna happen? Because the dude that's running against him, apparently at some point in his lawyering career, his prosecutorial, whatever that word is, his career as a prosecutor, he actually prosecuted the Klan in Alabama. Done. I don't even know how he got this far with that. Them rednecks ain't gonna put his ass in Washington. Are you crazy? Over a nice, exactly, like Rob is saying, he was an innocent Christian man before he came on my show. Look, I'm here to convert. Well, at least I know I did my job with you. Anyway, man, enough foolery. I mean, for right now, at least. I'm gonna take a break, come back with some additional foolery with how did I just have a brain fart that quickly? Jamie Zadow is who I'm coming back with. Colin, he's not the American of the Year, Big L. Colin Kaepernick is the Citizen of the Year. Gee, see, this is turning into Anyway, man, this is the One Mike with Big Mike show. I'm going to take a break. Get my guy Jamie on the line. We're going to talk some fantasy football. If you guys got any issues with your fantasy teams, hit me up right now. Text me at 404-902-8104 or jump on inside this live interactive chat room here on Spreaker. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm gonna keep ticking, but no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart and don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. For help keeping yours at a healthy range, text PRESSURE to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to One Mic
What are we waiting for? Let's get to it.
with Big Mike.
Yeah, man. Hump Day here on the One Mic with Big Mike show, man. Coming at you live right now, as I do each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Not this Friday, though. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Most Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. At 7 p.m. on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, and TuneIn. The show can also be heard on demand on those 3 platforms, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. I got the live stream going on Facebook right now. The video stream, if you want to check that out, it's at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. Use that same handle, man, for my Twitter and my Instagram. And right now, let me make sure I got this thing going. Hey, Jamie, can you hear me?
Hey, Mike, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, that's my bad. Okay, here we go. Say it again.
Hey, Mike, how you doing, man?
Good, man. I had you on echo here. That was on me. So yeah, Jamie is the co-host. He's Rob Grimwood's co-host. I'm gonna tell you right now, Jamie, you already lose the porn star name contest between you and Rob. So that's already officially done. Follow him on Twitter at Jamie Zadow. How you pronounce that? Zadow or Zadow?
The first one, it's Zadow.
Zadow. Damn it. See, go with your first mind every time, man. Every time. Go with what you first thought. So are you originally from Canada, or did you just go there to escape Trump or something?
No, man. I'm born and raised in Ontario, about an hour from Toronto. So, yeah, that's where I grew up. I hear you're not too pleased with Trump, the man himself. So, yeah.
Well, maybe me and you could be friends when this is over, and I can get a sponsorship from you so I can escape. Maybe we can,
yeah, man.
We can do something like that.
We'd love to have you.
Well, don't speak too soon. They don't even really want me here, as a matter of fact. Here's my first question for you. And it has nothing,
Sure.
well, it does have a little bit to do with fantasy football. Is there Canadian Football League fantasy football?
Yeah, evidently there actually is. I used to work at the Fantasy Sports Network in Toronto, and there was a guy there, Gabe Morency, who used to run a league by himself, evidently with a spreadsheet, and he had some followers doing it. So in terms of doing like an app, there isn't anything like that. Like there would be like DraftKings or FanDuel, so to say. But yeah, there are people who I guess would put together their own sort of personal platform and pay attention that way.
It's only like 8 teams, right?
Yeah, well, there's 9 actually. Ottawa got back in a couple of years ago, and to be honest, like I don't even really watch the CFL. I can't stand the third down football, and for me, it's been nothing but NFL in my lifetime. So,
no doubt. For those of you who don't know, because I do know this, when he says third down football, it's because they only have 3 downs. Yeah. They punt on third down. They go 1 down, 2 down, not like we do here, like 4th down is the punt down. One of my buddies is a coach up there. He used to be the head coach at Saskatchewan. I think now he is the assistant head coach at Toronto, as a matter of fact. A guy named Corey Chamberlain.
Right on.
Around that way. All right, so let's get into the American side of things. The first thing I got to know from you is, I'm looking to find out from you, who are some guys that you're finding to be good trade bait? Because we got some a-holes in my league that have scooped up every quarterback to the point where there are no quarterbacks for me to now put on my football team, and I have the pleasure and the dismay of running with Josh McCown, who is on bye this week, by the way. So I need to trade for somebody. So who are some players that you're seeing as possibly some good trade bait?
Yeah, good trade bait, man. I would say if you're looking for QB help, Dak Prescott certainly comes to mind at Dallas.
No, I need to trade for a guy like that, Dak Prescott. So give me other positions that I could possibly trade for him.
Well, if you're loaded at wide receiver, is it a PPR or standard league?
I think it's a PPR league.
PPR league, for sure. Robert Woods is a guy of the LA Rams. He's been hot as of late. Jamison Crowder, another guy in Washington. He's got 13 catches for 199 yards over his last 2 games. So he's definitely getting into that offense a little bit more. If you've been paying attention to the Redskins as of late, Terrell Pryor has been demoted down the depth chart. Of course, they signed him in the offseason and had big plans. But Crowder certainly found a way in that offense with Josh Dotson. So he might be worth some trade bait, a guy that's trending up. As I said, Robert Woods. The LA Rams are absolutely stacked right now between Woods, Watkins, and Gurley. Goff is on fire. So if guys are a little bit thin at that wide receiver position, Mike, you might be able to coax maybe a Prescott. Obviously, you already mentioned Josh McCown, who's on bye. He would have been a nice little stash down the stretch. So wide receiver help would definitely probably get those guys to give up some quarterback help to you.
Talking right now with Jamie Zadow. Uh-oh. Damn, say it again. Because now
Jamie Zadow.
Zadow.
Yeah, you're not far off, man. I've heard it all before. Some of my friends call me Z. I often get Jay-Z because of my initials, so I've heard it all.
Look at you. He's the co-host of the Across the Fantasy Pond podcast. This idiot in my chat room is telling me that trading is over. I'm not going to necessarily believe him, though, because, as I say, there might be one more week open. I have a dynasty league that Rob's actually in, and we have trade deadline expires on this Friday for us. So some leagues are over, some are still going. Yeah, like I said, idiots. Okay, we got some buys this week. We got Carolina, Indianapolis, New York, the Jets, and San Francisco. So we're going to need some guys to replace if people have Cam Newton, if people like me have Christian McCaffrey, if you got Devin Funchess maybe, if you got Jacoby Brissett, which was my alternative quarterback, but of course not playing and concussed apparently. T.Y. Hilton, guys for San Francisco like whatever the running back's name is.
Carlos Hyde.
Carlos Hyde, thank you.
Yep.
So give me some replacement guys, some waiver guys that people can possibly pick up this late in the season.
Yeah, so looking at receiver, I already mentioned him. Jamison Crowder is less than 53% owned. The Saints are pretty tough defense this week. They've been, I think, number one the past 7 weeks. They've got a 7-game win streak. However, they don't play well against slot receivers. Crowder is definitely a guy, like I said, who's found a role in this offense. I kind of like Cooper Kupp. He's only 51% owned in ESPN leagues as well. Goff is going to spread the ball around a little bit. The Vikings, very tough secondary. So I think Kupp is going to see a few more targets this week. Martavis Bryant is a guy, everyone's on Juju Smith-Schuster, but he got back into a role last week after that little mess he had with Mike Tomlin.
Caught a
2-point catches, 42 yards. Yeah, man. 3 catches, 42 yards. He's 40% owned. There's some wide receiver help for you. Running back position, Carlos Hyde's going to be tough to fill. I mean, he's been pretty solid the whole year, and it's kind of unfortunate you have a bye with him right now. However, Dion Lewis is a guy who's really found a role in that New England offense. 14 carries, 55 yards, and a TD last week in Denver. And keep in mind, Mike Gillislee has been a healthy scratch. And at the start of the year, he was sort of their goal line back. So I think Dion Lewis is now the guy. Rex Burkhead is sort of your Danny Woodhead in that offense. He might be another guy, Mike, that you might be looking to add. He's owned in less than 30% of leagues. Jamal Williams in Green Bay, he's only 47% owned. And I bring him up because Aaron Jones is out 3 to 6 weeks.
Yep, I just scooped him up.
Yeah, and Ty Montgomery is definitely questionable, maybe even doubtful this Sunday, dealing with that rib issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, Jamal Williams is a guy that's going to receive the bulk load of the carries. It's a tough Ravens defense, but at the end of the day, when you are going to start guys in your lineup, the first thing you look for is volume. And if Jamal Williams is going to get the bulk of those carries, I think he's a must-play if you're really desperate.
True that. Tell me about universal healthcare, man. Before I move to Canada, I gotta get hip on that, man, because down here it's a crapshoot when you go to the doctor. Is it everything it's cracked up to be?
Well, I've enjoyed it over the years, man. Like everything, though, I think behind the scenes as Canadian citizens, we are in essence paying for other things that would make up the healthcare anyway. Whereas you guys are paying, like you said, if you had to go get open heart surgery, so to say, you got to pay. I don't know how much you would pay, but it's a lot of money. So yeah, there's a lot of privileges here with the universal healthcare. So Mike, if you're thinking of coming north of the border, man, it's got a couple perks for you, and we'd love to have you.
I hate it here, dude.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, he's Jamie Zadow. Follow him on Twitter at Jamie, Zadow, the co-host of the Across the Fantasy Pond podcast. We got to talk about some guys matchup-wise.
Yeah.
Outside of the normal, the Bradys and the guys who you're going to start anyway, who are some guys that maybe people may be wavering on a little bit, but they got such good matchups that you got to put them in your lineup if you can?
Yeah, one for me, and I look at this Oakland-New England matchup, I look at the other side of the ball with Derek Carr. I think everyone anticipates, Brady and the gang to just kind of go in and blow the doors off Oakland like they did Denver, but, not so fast here. Carr's much better than Brock Osweiler, and that's not hard to do. Let's face it.
I might be better.
Yeah, exactly. And, the Pats secondary has not been very good this year. I mean, they are giving up. Let's see here. They're tied with the Giants for the most fantasy points per game against quarterbacks. So I think this is a great start if you're starting Derek Carr. I don't know if you play DFS, Mike, but in FanDuel, he's fairly cheap. I think there's about 8 to 9 guys that are more expensive than him this week. And I think there could be a lot of points put up in this game. Another guy like at quarterback, believe it or not, is actually Eli Manning of the Giants.
Really?
The Giants are horrible. They're horrible. I'm not going to deny this. They've given up 82 points in the last 2 weeks, but the Chiefs downright suck against wide receivers and quarterbacks. The fact of the matter is they've given up the most fantasy points per game to wide receivers. So Sterling Shepard is an absolute must-play. He's wide receiver 1 in New York, and Eli Manning has been dousing him with targets over the last couple of weeks. So I like that pairing, actually, especially in a DFS play.
Yeah.
Eli and Sterling, and I like it even more because I anticipate the Giants to be playing catch-up the whole game. The
Right.
Chiefs are just that much better.
Right. Eli he's out there too. And I saw him and I thought about it. I might have to go back because I don't have a quarterback right now. I have no one.
Well, listen, the Chiefs are giving up the top 5 fantasy points to quarterbacks as well. So start them with confidence.
See, here's an issue.
Yeah.
And one of my guys in my chat room here just brought this up. The cold. I'm a black man. I'm a tropical human being. The cold. My buddy was living in Saskatchewan, and he was telling me how it's flat out there, and it would be times that people would get frozen in their homes because it got so cold outside. The locks would freeze. I can't deal with that, Jamie. So in Toronto, can I get away with it not being that cold all the time?
It is definitely not as cold in Toronto as it is in Saskatchewan. I mean, you're going to get your minus 10, minus 15 days, though. Saskatchewan's the worst, Mike. I've actually driven through it. I drove across Canada out to the Vancouver Olympics one year with a couple friends. And I had a friend that worked there, northern Saskatchewan, and he said it would be minus 50 with the wind chill.
That's ridiculous. That's like hell backwards.
Flat. You can watch your dog run away for a week. I had someone basically say that to me once, and they weren't kidding. When I got out there, it was so flat, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, I can't. That's no. I might have to think about another 3 years with Trump if that's the case. But give me some guys that you got to sit, no matter what. The matchups are so bad that you just got to sit them.
Yeah, man. The big one for me is Adrian Peterson of the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was terrible last week on that Thursday night game against Seattle. 21 carries for 29 yards. It doesn't get better for him. I mean, the Texans' D is tied with the Vikings in giving up the fewest fantasy points a game to running backs. So I absolutely hate Adrian Peterson. I don't even love Lamar Miller on the other side of the ball. The Cardinals are so good in their run defense as well. So those are two guys I'm sitting. Another guy I'm sitting, and people are probably really going to maybe shrug their shoulders at this one and not agree, but I'm a Cowboys fan, Mike, and I really don't love Dak Prescott this week. And the biggest reason is
the left tackle,
if they don't have, if they don't have Tyron Smith, and as long as Ezekiel Elliott is out, which we heard this today, he's actually dropping his appeal, so he will sit the next 5 games. I don't trust playing Dak, especially against the Eagles. They have the number 1 rush defense in the league, so if Morris and McFadden can't get anything going, he's even more of a sitting duck. So for me, I'm not playing Prescott this week. I don't love the matchup, and I don't trust, as you said, that left side of the offensive line.
All right, let's get into some of these matchup questions. Right now I'm speaking with Jamie Zadow of the Across the Fantasy Pond podcast. When does the podcast come on? When and where can people catch the podcast? That's important.
Yeah, man. So it's out on Audio Boom as well as up on iTunes, and it comes out on Fridays. Okay. So you can look for it. Usually, I always get this wrong, Mike, because me being in Ontario, I'm Eastern time like yourself, but Rob is 5 hours ahead of me. So when it comes out for me, I think it's usually about 10 a.m. Eastern time. 10
a.m. Eastern time. Across the Fantasy Pond is the name of the podcast. You guys want to go check that out. The website is acrossthefantasypond.com, so you can check out all the writing and all the sleepers and must starts and must sits and all those things at the website. All right, let me give you these dilemmas here.
Sure.
I've got Latavius Murray versus L.A. or Alfred Morris, who you just alluded to, that Cowboy situation, versus Philly. Who do you like there?
I love Latavius Murray. Even though he's probably going to split time with Jerick McKinnon, the Rams are not good against the run at all. They're tied for 4th most fantasy points a game to running backs. So I actually love Latavius Murray in this spot, and they're also giving up about 45 yards passing to running backs out of the backfield. So I love Murray. Like I said earlier, I don't love that matchup for Morris. I don't love the Eagles' number 1 rush defense. So feel confident in starting Murray.
Oh, that's good for me because Latavius Murray's on my team as well. And also, your co-host is seemingly screaming at you in my chat room saying that it's up on Thursday, Z.
Oh, my bad, man. My bad. I always get that wrong. I always listen to it Friday, though.
Never apologize. Stick with being wrong. Take it to the grave with you. That's my philosophy.
Rob is always quick to let me know when I'm wrong. So no problem. I'm used to that.
give me Juju Smith-Schuster versus Tennessee, or I guess this is, who is this? It just says Evans at Miami. Not Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. It is Mike Evans.
Oh, the makeup game from the beginning of the season. Mike
exactly.
Evans.
You hit the nail right on the head. This is a little bit of a stumper because I'm really not a fan of those Thursday night games. I really hate the short rest, man. I think the league's really got to get rid of them. But I think I'm going to lean with Evans in this one. The last couple of weeks, the Dolphins secondary has just looked so lost. And Evans is back. He did serve a suspension a couple of weeks ago. I believe, did they have a bye? No, they lost. They beat the Jets last week. That's right, in a real stinker. But I'm going to go with Mike Evans in this. I've got him ranked in my wide receiver rankings in my top 10, so I feel comfortable going with Evans for me.
All right. In the chat room here, give me Emmanuel Sanders, doesn't say who he's playing, or Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, this is another tough one. So Emmanuel Sanders has the Cincinnati Bengals this week, which is going to be a tough matchup because the Bengals secondary is much better than that Pats secondary, and although Osweiler continued his trend of throwing a touchdown pass to Demaryius Thomas, I think it's now 7 of 9 games he started for the Broncos that he's thrown a touchdown to Thomas. He really loaded up at Sanders. So for me, I'm actually going to stick with Sanders in this one over Kupp. I think Kupp is sort of the fourth option in that offense. You've got Watkins, Woods, and of course Gurley. So Sanders for me back healthy. I like him as wide receiver 2 in Denver. I'll go with Sanders.
All right, couple more dilemmas here for Jamie Zadow. He's at Jamie Zadow on Twitter, so make sure you guys give him a follow. The Across the Fantasy Pond podcast is available on Thursdays. You can do like Jamie does and listen to him on Friday. You'll still be ready for the weekend, so don't worry. Give me Chris Thompson at New Orleans or Amir Abdullah at Chicago.
Yeah, so I absolutely love Chris Thompson this week. Rob Kelly is out with an injury, so we know Samaje Perine is going to be your goal line back, presumably. But I think Cousins is going to have to get Thompson, and so is Jay Gruden, obviously, get Thompson involved in that offense more this week. The last 7 games, there's been nobody better than the Saints in the secondary. I think they've given up about 169 pass yards a game in that span. And we saw them rip apart Tyrod Taylor last week. So, yeah, I love Thompson, man. Thompson's my guy in this matchup for sure.
Hey, you bring up Samaje Perine. I think he's available in my league. I've got
LeGarrette
Blount that's kind of just hanging on by a string there with the addition of Jay Ajayi. Should I go ahead and get rid of LeGarrette and pick up Perine with Rob Kelly being on IR now?
Yeah, you know what, man? I would feel comfortable picking up Perine. You look at the last 3 games for LeGarrette Blount, he's had less than 4 fantasy points in 2 of them, and there was once there against the Niners who they absolutely stomped. He had 11 points, and that was standard scoring. So if you are in PPR, he doesn't really factor in the mix much anyway with Corey Clement there in the pass game. So yeah, I love Perine, Mike. If you can scoop him up, I would. Definitely.
Got a tight end matchup for you: Kyle Rudolph versus LA or Cameron Brate at Miami.
Oh, man, you're giving me another tough one. This is some good stuff, but I like to be on my toes, so it's good. For me, I really think I like Rudolph. I think Keenum really is going to focus on him in the red zone this week. The Rams, I believe, are top 10 in red zone touchdowns against the Vikings this year. Don't stat check me on that. I might be wrong. I think it's top 10, Mike, but now that I think off the top of my head. But I do love Rudolph.
Just say it with confidence. Doesn't matter if you're wrong. As long as you say it with confidence, doesn't matter.
Absolutely. I love Rudolph in this matchup over Brate. I think Fitzpatrick will target Evans a little bit more this week against Miami. So for me, I'm going to do Rudolph over Brate this week.
Okay, and finally, I've got Ty Hill at the New York Giants or another speedster, Brandon Cooks at Oakland.
Yeah, I love and it's Tyreek. You said Tyreek Hill against the Giants?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, absolutely. Tyreek Hill is my guy this week over Brandon Cooks. The thing for me is, like we saw Sunday night in Denver, you just never know who Tom Brady is going to go to in that offense. There's so many play on words, I guess, cooks in the kitchen, right? So, I love Tyreek Hill. For me, that Giants secondary is awful. They've given up 82 points, like I said, in the last 2 games. I mean, they couldn't stop a nosebleed. So I love Alex Smith as my QB2 this week. So I'm starting Tyreek Hill with confidence.
No doubt. That's going to do it. Hey, what's the biggest misconception of Canadians?
Biggest misconception? Probably that every day is probably minus 20 and that we live in igloos.
Well, that's pretty stupid. That would be Alaskans.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, man. I appreciate you doing this for me, Jamie, man. You were great. As a matter of fact, since I know Rob is listening, you were 20 times better than Rob.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you really having me on. This is great.
No problem, my man. Take it easy, all right?
Take care.
That was Jamie Zadow, co-host of the Across the Fantasy Pond podcast. And what did I see here? I just saw something. I saw something about a hockey. Yeah, we don't do hockey on this show, Rob. Once again, in case you didn't notice, I am of African descent. No, I'm playing. Jamie hosts a hockey podcast. The thing is moving too fast. Called 5 on 5, the 5 on 5 podcast. So if any of you are out there, love yourself some hockey, check out the podcast, man. 5 on 5 podcast. Wait a minute, hockey's not 5 on 5, is it? Or is it? I don't know. I used to work in hockey. I used to run the Atlanta Thrashers on the radio here when we had a hockey team, but I still have no idea. See, you're an idiot. See, and they also say A at the end of the look. And you know what, too? I was waiting to hear that. I was waiting to hear all these things because, okay, you had noticed already. There are idiots that listen to this show. They say A, and at the end of their sentences, and they say a boot. Yeah, see, you're an idiot. But I was listening too. I was listening to see if I was going to hear some of that stuff, but I didn't. I wonder if he was doing that purposely. Nah, man, be who you are, man. Canada rocks. It's just too damn. I'm waiting for Canada to start talking about putting up a damn wall while we at it. The way things going around here, it might be a mass exodus. People just buying up triple fat goose jackets. You know what I mean? Big coats and earmuffs and Timberlands, heading their ass to Canada, because around here you got politicians who love the grope women and molest children and all kind of stupidness. I know I'm a horrible human being. That is no revelation. I am no those is telling me how horrible of a human being I am. I know, but as things are constantly shaking out, I'm starting to realize more and more in this world, in this country that we live in, there are plenty of worse human beings than I am by far. You understand me? And they tend to run for government on the Republican side of things. As a matter of fact, oh God, I'm really disturbed by what's happening, man. And I'm waiting. Full disclosure, I'm just waiting on this whole beef with Lil Kim, the kid in North Korea, and Trump to just just really go down, and they can start firing off them nukes and just end this whole thing. Just end it all. Like, the world needs a restart. And if it has to be because of these two idiots, by all means, they have my blessing. I ain't afraid to go, because the way it is right now, being here ain't no better. Everything is terrible. They trying to take away your health care. You heard my man say, if I got to go get open heart surgery, it's just all good. Not around here. You're going to have open heart surgery, and then you're going to get the bill and have a heart attack and break your new heart. That's how it happens here in America. And this is real stuff, too. Like, it sounds like I'm joking about that, but a lot of people end up with even more serious health concerns based on the stress from the medical condition or the medical procedures that they had to have to fix a certain condition. That is where we are. Yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about. See, when you missed the beginning of the show, and I've already talked about Trump lying, talking about he freed the UCLA players. First of all, they were in a luxury hotel. Nothing to really be freed from at that point. But him coming around here bragging about, yeah, they better thank me. Kiss my ass, dude. You know what I mean? Prove to me that you did what you say you did. Without proof, screw you, dude. Screw you with the sickest, most mangled penis possible. I can only say that because I'm on the internet. Yeah, they better thank me too. No, ain't nobody thanking you, idiot. Because here's the other thing too, and I heard this white lady say this on CNN. What time is it? Am I supposed to break? I got a couple minutes. I heard this white lady say that on CNN today, that really it would have been worse for him had he been in China while Americans are being detained by the Chinese and he had done nothing. That would have been worse on him, especially because everybody already know he a white supremacist and they 3 black kids. So if you just like get back on your Air Force One, come on back to America like ain't nothing popping. Yeah, of course, man. You know what I'm saying? Maxine Waters and all them black folks in the Congress, they definitely gonna hit you up. Black Lives Matter gonna be all over it. It's gonna be a bigger situation than it was supposed to be. So that still don't mean I believe that he did what he said he did. Trust that. I make it a point in life. Here's one of those Mike-isms. Don't believe liars. Don't believe liars. Period. If you lie, I got no reason to believe. And you can't be offended. If you're a liar and I don't believe you can't be offended. Let's take a break, man. Shout out to my man, Jamie Zadow, for stepping in today from the Across the Fantasy Pond podcast. You guys want any more information, you can hit him up on Twitter at Jamie, JamieZadow. You can also check out his work at Across the Fantasy acrossthefantasypond.com. I'm going to take a break, come back. We got to do on this day, of course. Got to take you guys back and give you guys some historical tidbits and factoids. And since you guys are here, you can tell me what you want to talk about today, because really, there ain't nothing to talk about. But, I'll talk about whatever you guys bring up. 404-902-8104. That's the text line. You can also do so in my live interactive chat room, or hit me up here on Facebook, where I'm streaming live video at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Go Caleb! Come on, hit a homer, Jesse!
Let's go, guys!
Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Wow, jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's true. I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
Oh, hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
One mic.
I'm back.
It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. Live,
Ain't no goddamn tape.
interactive, and on demand. One Mic. Yeah, a sports show.
The best move of LeBron's career, man, was dragging his sweaty ball sack right across Draymond Green's the nape of his neck, and getting that dude suspended.
And so much more.
What's going on right now with Donald Trump? This is America, and it tickles me to death when white people are so shocked and appalled by it.
What? It's the One Mic with Big Mike show.
Of course, it's like anything, like ammonia or you sniffing glue is gonna get you high.
You've been warned. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts now. Here he is.
He's real cocky. He's real loudmouth. He's real flamboyant. He don't cow down to people.
Big Mike.
Yes, indeed, man. Top of the hour here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Appreciate you guys hanging out, man. That was fun talking to Jamie, man. That Canada thing, I don't know. The benefits, the risk versus the rewards. I don't know, man. Me and my old lady need to get up out of here, though. We got to get up out of here at some point in time. Anyway, you're either listening right now via Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app or the TuneIn app. Or if you're listening on demand, you could be listening on all 3 of those platforms. Or on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, or YouTube. You can also check me out right now. I'm streaming live video here on Facebook Live. Check it out at One Mic with Big Mike. You can also use that handle for my Twitter and my Instagram. You want to text into the show, do so at 404-902-8104, 404-902-8104. You can also jump inside my live interactive chat room here. Rob's still hanging out. Big L's here. I Am No Dose is in here. I saw somebody else earlier pop in for a second. Deck. I think this is Deck 74. DEQK 74. Yep. Probably a Negro. Because we can't, like, we all got to do that, right? We all got to put the extra on the words and just expect you to know how to pronounce it. So I'm going to assume that's Deck. But anyway, it's the top of the hour. It's time to take a look back.
Now, let's take a look back.
On this day.
And don't forget, since I'm not going to be here on Friday, we can do Free For All Wednesday, man. Free For All today. What is that? What do I call it? Not Free For All. I call it Freestyle Friday, Freestyle Wednesday. You guys throw topics at me and we'll discuss them. All right, let's get into this on this day situation. I think it's like Mad Shout, too. If I can find the damn thing. All right. On this day in 1960, the great Elgin Baylor of the Los Angeles Lakers scored 71 points versus the New York Knicks. We're going to talk about some basketball here in a second because we got a couple of pretty decent contests going on tonight. On this day in 1964, Mickey Wright shoots a 62, the lowest golf score for a woman professional. Why is it written this way? Why does it not say a female professional? On this day in 1983, Mike Bossy scored the 75th hat trick in New York Islanders history. And finally, on this day in 2005, the American Baseball Players Association and franchise owners agreed to toughen the current penalties for the use of steroids, using a 50-game suspension for the first offense, a 100-game suspension for the second, and a lifetime ban for the third. Shout out to my man Manny Ramirez in English. Got that lifetime ban for them roids. Yeah. And that is your Hump Day edition of On This Day. Short and sweet. You know what I mean? Just like that. All right. What I say we're going to do? We're going to talk about some basketball here. We got right now going on Cleveland taking on the Hornets. Kemba, Dwight Howard's in that. I haven't seen the Hornets play at all this year. I heard Dwight Howard's been doing his thing, rebounding the way he was supposed to. Apparently, Michael Jordan and the boys been using him the way you would use a guy like Dwight Howard, but he's still rendered powerless in this NBA right now. Like, they're not gonna win no games doing that, but it's gonna make him look better. Kemba is a baller. You're taking on LeBron and JR and D Wade and half of Derrick Rose. They still don't have Tristan Thompson though, so they still trying to figure that whole situation out. LeBron showed up in the Garden the other day. You know, did he get a triple double, or was close to a triple double, something like that? But you know, was ruffling some feathers in his cancer. Their young rookie as well, Frank, whatever his name is. LeBron's up here trolling and banging on folks, and I'm personally liking it. You know, LeBron feels like he's a lot more comfortable in his skin the last 5 years. You know, post championship, especially after this Cleveland championship. Yeah, LeBron is he's here to win. He's in it to win it. The Celtics, though. The Celtics are the talk of the town, man. The NBA town, at least 13 in a row. Kyrie done broke his face. Freaking got Al Horford concussed. The young rookie, he's been hurt. Jaylen Brown's been doing big things for them. They got a nice squad, man. That dude, Brad Stevenson, a lot of people. Where did he come from? Butler? A lot of people was real down on that hire, man. This college dude coming in, especially the fact that he followed Doc Rivers and the Big Three. Remember, we don't ever really talk about how Doc Rivers just skipped town when it was time to rebuild. You know what I mean? Cowardly. It was you got to send me to the Clippers. Who's in a better situation now? Danny Ainge and Doc Rivers. The Clippers suck. I think they just lost 6 in a row or something like that. They suck. They got no. I mean, my man Pat Beverly's out. They leaning on freaking Blake Griffin to do all the scoring and whatnot. Yeah. Yeah. That's what happened, man. Certain people have vision, man. And shout out to Danny Ainge, man, for actually having the vision. Not getting caught up in all that emotional stuff when it comes to, Isaiah Thomas or whatever. You upgraded. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at it in terms of women. You know what I'm saying? The 25-year-old that still has the maturity, but is way finer than the 30-year-old. Yeah. Consider that an upgrade. You know what I mean? That's what he did. He got a 25-year-old point guard. The defense is a whole they're the best defensive team in the league. But last year they were one of the worst. I don't think that's by coincidence. You know, when you don't have to. I always talk about this when people talk about guys like Carmelo not being two-way players or whatever. Very few people can shoulder that load. You dig what I'm saying? On both, LeBron is just built differently. Kobe was built differently mentally. Though Michael Jordan was built differently, just mentally built differently. Those kind of people can exert the same amount of energy offensively as they do defensively. Most people don't. So now that you got Kyrie that can get his buckets, he's in the same position Kevin Durant was in last year. He can still get his buckets, but he can get them much more efficiently, which allows him to play better, not just man-on-ball defense, but he can play better team defense and be a better helper to his teammates. And you're seeing it right now in their defensive ranking, the Celtics that I'm talking about. Later on, we got Kuzma and the Lakers. At some point, we got to move on from this whole Lonzo Ball in the Lakers, right? He's not the primetime dude over there no more. You could even say Jordan Clarkson and the Lakers taking on Ben Simmons, whatever that thing is, whatever that thing is that they have playing point guard in Philly. They'll be taking on the Lakers with Joel Embiid as well. They still don't have, what's the kid's name? Markelle Fultz. He still got the shoulder situation. That Philly team, I don't know how good they're going to be because we go through this pretty much. We went through this a bunch of years with the Timberwolves on the West Coast, or in the Western Conference, I should say. So I don't know how good this team is going to be, but they fun to watch. They skilled. You got a point guard that's 7 feet tall. They keep calling him 6'10", but over the summer, I kept reading multiple reports that this dude grew 2 inches over the summer, which by my public school math makes him 6'12", which equals 7 foot. He's playing point guard. He has no jump shot, and all he's doing is yamming on people. He's playing point guard the way, like if Shaq was a point guard. Just dunking. He had 7 dunks in one game. No one in the league, no big man, nobody has had 7 dunks in one game. And he can dish the rock. You know what I'm saying? So, like, y'all can keep telling yourselves that this Lonzo Ball thing is real. And I'm going to keep telling you, not yet. Not as long as that kid in Philly is doing what he's doing. Not yet. You know what I mean? And they get to see each other tonight, which I'm going to stay up late and watch that, man. I'm going to stay up late and then watch that thing happen. Because I only saw a portion. I think the Sixers were here in Atlanta. And I saw a portion of one of the games, but I haven't seen them play an entire game, only highlights. So I'm lightweight excited, man. And I don't know about y'all, man, but I feel more excited about NBA basketball that comes on 3-4 times a week than I am about football football kind of comes on 4 times a week too, like Monday, Thursday, and Friday, yeah, and Sunday 3 times a week. But I don't get up for football anymore, man. Football almost seems like I'm just supposed to watch it, so I am watching it. You know what I asked the other day on social media, and now I'm realizing that I was lied to. You know how they have the little idiot. I asked about, you know how they have the little patches, the little sponsorship patches on the jerseys this year, and I just saw a picture of like Kemba Walker or something the other day, and his jersey had the Jordan emblem on it. And, you know, Nike is outfitting the league this year, but I was wondering if they're wearing Nike jerseys, but Michael Jordan is his own sponsor, right? And somebody said, yeah, that's how it is. And I was like, damn, that's gangster as hell. But that's not what it is. They're actually wearing Jordan brand jerseys because they have on the other side where the patch is supposed to be, the left, I guess. Yeah, the left. They have a patch of something else. So somebody lied to me on social media. Go figure, right? Speaking of social media, I've been banned again. I've been banned from posting in groups again. And I don't know why. I've asked Facebook, please tell me what it is that keeps getting me banned, and no one is getting back to me. So screw you, Mark Zuckerberg. You're an idiot. Yeah, so Big L agrees. Like the NBA is, well, you two jerks are boycotting the NFL anyway. So of course you'd be more excited about NBA basketball. But I just mean in the whole, it just feels like it's more fun. The players that have moved to different teams. We're gonna get to see Chris Paul come back this week, I believe. We're gonna see Chris Paul play this week, and we get to see what he's gonna look like but playing with James Harden for the first time since the beginning of the season. And in that interim, James Harden been getting crazy stupid. He been getting buckets so stupid. The other day he Euro walked, like last night against the Raptors. He Euro stepped like 3 times in the same play though. He like took like 18 steps without a walk being called and ended up shooting a layup. Yes, I am no dose. The freaky Greeky one. He's going to have something to say about them 7 dunks. Yeah, because he got the same type of game. He's long, don't have no jump shot, and it's all about just racking dudes up at the... That's what I want to see today, because he got Lonzo, too. The Greek freak, He got Lonzo trying to play sneaky up under that rim. He got his ass yammed on. I'm trying to see that happen tonight. Light skin on light skin crime. I'm all about that life. Lonzo and Simmons. I just want to see that dude get his ass yammed on. So yeah, these dudes are saying that the product is just better in the NBA. I don't know that I can disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? I can't put my finger on why that is the case. It just seems like, I don't know. My attention span sticks with the game of basketball more here lately than it does football. Maybe because I don't have to watch Brock Osweiler and Tom Savage and those ridiculous ass quarterbacks, McCown, play quarterback in the NFL. I get to see real ass superstars. Maybe my attitude about basketball will be the same way if like Kevin Durant and Steph and LeBron, like a million people would probably have to get hurt, to be honest with you. Like in football, only a couple of guys being out, and I'm like, oh, this is terrible. But like, yeah, about a million people would probably have to get hurt in the NBA for me to be like, I don't want to watch this crap. You know what I mean? Because they got young dudes that's hot, older cats that's hot. The NBA is in a good place right now. For the people who look at me crazy when I say that, I don't know what's on your mind. If you just one of those like football in your blood type Southern MFers, you're not understanding. If you're one of those people that's waiting to Christmas or waiting to the playoffs to watch this season of NBA football, I mean, that don't exist. NBA football definitely doesn't exist. NBA basketball, you losing that life. Speaking of Lonzo Ball, his boss, not his coach, which is it's just so weird to me that the way Magic Johnson is always referred to as though he's the coach. You know what I'm saying? Like they ask him questions about fixing Lonzo Ball's shot, which that joint is broke. It is destroyed, broke. I don't care even if he start hitting shots, like that can't be sustainable. Shooting the basketball like that cannot be sustainable, man, at all. Like with Ben Simmons, they pretty much just got to figure out which hand this dude is supposed to shoot with. You know what I mean? He shoots jump shots left-handed, but at the rim he's all about the right hand. They just got to figure out. Like Tristan Thompson had to start shooting. How does Tristan Thompson shoot? Does he shoot left hand now? Whatever hand he shoots with now, he was shooting with a whole different hand beforehand. I don't know how that's weird to me. But I know LeBron is like that too. LeBron is left-handed. Like he writes left-handed, but he shoots the basketball right-handed. That's weird, but who am I to contest greatness? I don't know. But that's what Ben Simmons' thing is. They just got to figure out which hand he's going to shoot the basketball with and then work on his shot that way. This kid, Lonzo Ball, that shot needs to be broken down all the way and reconstructed. And so they asked Magic Johnson about it, and he said the right thing. Like we're not going to mess with it during the season, but if the shooting woes continue, they're going to have to get in the gym in the off season. I'm like, all right, like I'm not opposed to Magic Johnson's he's an NBA great. So yeah, if you can get the help from him, but it's just the fact that he gets approached like he's the coach. Even when the kid got drafted, his dad was like, yeah, Magic is going to take my son to the next level. I'm like, where? From the front office? He got a coach that, he's not all-time great. His dad was, and he played in the NBA as well. He's a champion as well. He coached two of the better shooters in NBA history. I would think Luke Walton knows a little bit about shooting the basketball. A little bit. But they just like overpass him. Like, yep, Magic is going to show him how to shoot the basketball. Really? All right. Sweet. One of my new... it kills me to say this too, man. And by the way, this is the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm here right now on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, and on TuneIn. Text the show at 404-902-8104, 404-902-8104. If what I'm saying is boring you guys can always throw out subject matter and we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I won't be here on Friday to do Freestyle Friday, so we'll kind of incorporate it into tonight's show as best as possible. So if you guys got anything on your mind, it ain't even got to be sports. I don't care. Throw it out there. Yeah, you know what? Shout out to you, Big L. That's a pretty astute observation. It's kind of there. He put in the chat room that my man is Bill Cartwright 2.0. Like Bill held that thing high You know, he had the high release, but he still had that twisting motion to the shot that was like mad crazy and awkward. But, you know, he played on the team with Michael Jordan. They ain't need no buckets out of Bill. Bill get you like 8 points a game, couple free throws, and you good. You know what I'm saying? They had the three-headed monster at one point with Bill and Bill Winnington and Luke Walton. Not Luke Walton. What's the boy's name from Australia? Luke Longley. You ain't need too much out of that. Oh, I didn't. I forgot. I wasn't being too much of a perv last night. Demetria Oberlor. I gotta remember to come back into the chat room when the show ends to because if I'm not gonna do it tonight. I'm not gonna do it right now because that's what I was about to do. I was gonna do it right now. So anyway, a guy who for a long time was never one of my favorites, but you know, in the spirit of compartmentalizing, he's touched a certain vein with me, and it's a vein of respect. And to me, that's bigger. That's bigger than liking someone. Respect them, and it's Greg Popovich, and Popovich has said a lot of things over the last year about, you know, what's been going on in the world and the country outside of basketball. You know, when these shootings happen, when you guys elected an idiot, he's spoken about it in very matter of effect terms, and he spoke today again about the reaction he's getting across the country as his team goes across the country and plays basketball games. What kind of reaction he's getting, and he says people respond to him, of course. People send him letters. So for one, I know those are not young people, one, and they're probably not black people, because he seems to be on our side with most of these things. So yeah, a lot of old white people are writing Greg Popovich letters of this. He's still talking about you gonna thank him. Anyway, he says, quote, I do read everything, and I try to respond. Shout out to him for that. He says the only ones I don't respond to are the ones that are so this is not courageous. Courageous in their negativity, and there's no address, just comments. There are people who have responded and disagreed and say why. And it's erudite and intelligible. And I'm like, yeah, you've got a point. Those people deserve to be written back. So I try. I probably won't get to them all, but I try. My man, damn. Yeah, I mean, if you remember, one of the comments that I love the best is when he called Trump a soulless coward. He said that he just called former guest of this show, Dave Zirin, just called him. And was like, you know what? Yeah, this dude is a soulless coward, and just hung up the phone. That's how you're supposed to do it. I can't not do this. This might not be the best thing to do right now, but I'm going to look up this. I'm going to look up wrong one. I'm not. I'll do it during the next break. Demetria Obu. Like, what is she? Is she just like an Instagram model? That always sounds funny to me when I say that. Is she just like an Instagram model, or is she like somebody like that does something else? Is she like on a show or something, or is there any like discernible talent except probably having? I'm just gonna guess she got a big ass and is lightweight pretty. I'm just gonna guess that much. But does she do anything else? Because it kind of matters nowadays, because there are no shortage of those broads. You know, the Instagram model broads. There's no real shortage of them, and it feels like sometimes once you've seen one, you've seen them all. Maybe that's my age talking, but it just tends to feel that way. You know, like all these broads are just carbon copies of one another. Like they just step into the doctor office. Oh, her. Yeah, I know who she is. Come on, dude. You know I don't know names. I don't do names. He's talking about the traffic chick from Dallas, the light-skinned broad with all the ass and had the body dress on. And yeah, white people and white women they didn't know how to be jealous. So he's like, I don't want to be jealous, so I'm just gonna be mad. No way she can be that fine and give me my traffic. Yes, she can. Yes, she can. Yeah, dude, you can't tell me names, because I don't do names. You've been around here long enough to know this. So shame on you. Or weather. What did I say? Well, they do weather and traffic together, don't they? In most places. But yeah, the light skin, yeah. And they put a picture of her on the internet with beside the little white girl from Fox News with the same dress on. Like, that's what white people call body shaming. And then you know what? She should be ashamed. Like, once the chick, the weather chick or whatever she is, the traffic chick, once she wears the dress, the little white girl from Fox has to find every picture of her wearing that same dress and just burn it and just have them taken off the internet as though it's a sex tape. Because yeah, that's true body shaming, and she should be ashamed. But I don't know though, because like white dudes like that kind of stuff, right? White dudes like them skinny bras with like those big breasticles. They look like a baseball bat with two softballs on each side of them. That ain't really our thing. Like, you know, most bros, we're fans of the meat, you know, something to hold on to, you know, and some bros a little bit extra. some bros like the booty do as well, you know, where the booty stick out just as far as the belly do, you know, so, or the belly stick out just as far as the booty do. I screwed that joke, but you get my point. So yeah, I knew who that was, dude. That's what you want to talk about? The weather chick from Dallas and all these white tears being shed over her natural fine body. Now, that's natural too. You know how you can tell it's natural? Straight up. You can look, cause she got a little bit around the midsection. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like one of those chicks that, you know, they keep all the ass and then they go to the doctor and get all the stuff sucked out of the middle. Nah, she got the, you know, her regular shape, and she got her arms, that upper arm area. You know what I'm saying? Is there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not speaking about this in no kind of derogatory way. I'm just saying you could just tell like her stuff is, yeah, that's what nature provided her with. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell she kind of young too, because like that broad with that body, this is gonna sound real sexist, but this is my show and I can do what I want to. Somebody gonna put a baby in her, and that whole fantasy y'all got is gonna be. It's going to be left to old Instagram pictures, pimp. You know what I mean? One child going that, and it's poof. Game over. Because I don't think they paid them enough money to do like them girls, like them Kardashian broads and like Amber Rose and them, where they can just have babies and then go back to the doctor and like, yep, fix me back the way I was before Khalifa Jr. or whoever. No, I don't think whether people get that loot like that. Look, see, golly, this is what happens. It's a Wednesday and there's nothing to talk about, so I have to sit here and watch this dude typing. I'd put one in her because he's a creep. He's a creepy individual. Because this is how I imagine that it's being said. I'd put one in her. Like, that's how I imagine it's actually being said in the most creepiest way possible. Stop. Don't get yourself in no trouble, dude. You see all these white boys going down for all that sexual misconduct, sexual harassment. What is it? What's the other one called? There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of different titles. You can get hooked up on any last one of them. I heard something today. Full disclosure, before we go to break, I thought about something that happened to me in college that, well, I was about to be a part of, and something that I actually planned in college that didn't actually happen, that would, if it did happen, I'd be in trouble today. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'd be in trouble today. I had a roommate that told me that he almost had a soiree with this female friend that I had. And I was like, dang, dog, you know, because she left the school for a quarter. We was on quarters, and she came back the following quarter while I was there. They was all there the year before I was there. So I was like, dog, this is what we gonna do. I'm gonna call you while you down there working out, and I'm gonna tell her we need to study for this test. And all you gotta do is, like, while she on the way, go hop in the shower, and I'll just leave and go down to somebody else's room, and then you can just come back in the room just with your towel on, and boom, that's the hookup. But he punked out because he was lying about the whole thing anyway. But yeah, that would have been one of those, like, I want to report Big Mike on some, or not even like, he just set me up for sexual harassment. To be 18 and stupid, and without without smartphones and internet. I mean, I guess we had the internet, but it was like in the beginning stages of the internet, the infancy of the internet. Yeah, and I'm sure if you dudes have lived long enough, there's certain things that you look back on like, whoa, damn, that wasn't cool. Hopefully nothing too serious, but nonetheless. Final break of the show, man, here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Don't forget, man, the show is available on demand on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, TuneIn, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. You can also catch the replay of the Facebook live stream on my Facebook page. If you don't catch it live, go to at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. Use that same handle to tweet at me and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Like the Facebook page. You guys can get involved in the show by texting me to 404-902-8104. So she already got a child, huh? That's where the thickness come from. So the next one, out of here. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Time starts now. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat? Where can you find the answers to these questions?
Car crashes are one of the leading killers of U.S. children. Many of those deaths could be prevented by making sure that kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat and know for sure. That's safercar.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
And now back to One Mic with Big Mike.
And here we go!
Ladies and gentlemen.
We there, man. We on over the hump here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. I didn't even realize which one of you idiots wrote that until just now. That she already got a child. I have pregnant pics. You dudes are weirdos, man. You dudes are weird. Like, why do you have that, dude? You got some sort of fetish? I have pregnant pics. As though you gonna blackmail her or something. Golly. Anyway, man, welcome back to the Hump Day edition of the One Mic with Big Mike show. Don't forget, I won't be here on Friday. And next week is gonna be kind of sketchy, too. My old lady's coming back in town, finally. She's been down in Florida, man, for the last, I don't even know. I stopped counting, man. She's been down there, helping the people out down there, Hurricane Katrina. Telling me all kind of stuff. A dude died, as a matter of fact. Not like a dude that, but I don't know. I can tell you guys this. I haven't signed anything. Yeah, dude that worked for FEMA. Young dude, too, like 34 years old. Like, I guess the stress, man. Because it's like hella stressful. Like she be telling me about the stuff that they got to go through, the red tape they got to fight through to try to get these people help from the government and all this kind of stuff, the local government. Yeah, man. A dude died, and she said another cat. They got an email that another cat died down there in may have been Puerto Rico or the Virgin Islands, one of those 2 islands, man. The cat is down there stressing out. I told her, look, man, your name ain't on it. Like, it ain't called. The department ain't named after you. You just an employee. Do what you can do, and whatever you can't, you gotta leave it up to something else, to a higher power. A lot of them folks believe in praying and all that kind of stuff. Let them pray themselves to a trailer. I'm just saying, you can't help nobody if you dead. So anyway, moving along from talking about the Dallas traffic girl or weather girl or whatever she is, Miss Red Dress, and apparently these dudes have way more pictures of this chick than they really need to. My goodness. Calling her by name and all. Like, there's no way in the world. I would have never known who that was. You could have said her name 1.5 million times. I would have never known who you were talking about until you said the Dallas-Fort Worth chick that got all these white people mad. White people on some angry stuff now, man, lately here, man. That's why you see all these damn mass shooters and all that. You know who's not doing that? The bruhs. Like that whole talking point of, well, you guys want to talk about police brutality. You don't say anything about Chicago. No need. I can just say Vegas, cuz. I can say Vegas. I can say Sutherland Springs. I can say whatever town this was in freaking California yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? That dude shot up at 8 o'clock in the damn morning. Not like it's a perfect time to do a mass shooting. Just saying. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get my Starbucks on. And next thing you know, some wacko idiot trying to bust up in my kid's school and shoot all the babies in there. Anybody want to play the game? What color? What race is he? Anybody want to play that game? Yeah, you already know. You already know. Yep, but it's not terrorism. As far as they tell it, it's not terrorism. Anyway, gotta find a warm version of Canada. That's what I'm looking for. A warm version of Canada. Anyway, we gotta get this NFL stuff out the way and then close up shop for the week. Your man, Mr. Piss Po Nasty Ass Face Pizza Ass Face Ass Papa John's, he called himself apologizing for his comments. Wasn't that like 3 weeks ago? Now you want to apologize? And you know what? You know what the real reason to be mad about this is? Not the fact that Papa John's is a white nationalist and whatever. He feel like black people should stay in their place. That ain't the part to be mad about. Whatever. He just fall in line with a lot of these other white folks that got all this money. The fact is that in most things in this country, and I know y'all don't want to hear this, it's not the 60s anymore. Your dollar doesn't mean that much to these white people, most of them anymore. Like if you stop buying, they good. The economy is worldwide. Everybody got web sales and all that kind of stuff. If they lose that little part, certain things, like Jordans can't. Like if y'all start boycotting Jordans, Michael Jordan, the Jordan cry face can get a new rendition. But for most things, right? You guys stop going to Walmart, they ain't gonna care. They ain't gonna give a damn. So the fact that y'all got mad and Papa John's lost all that money in one day. So he say $70 million in one day. That ain't his fault. That's your fault. That's all y'all fault. All y'all Negroes that was out here eating that nasty ass pizza this whole time, to the point that this dude can piss y'all off and lose $70 million in a day. Shame on y'all, man. Shame on y'all. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Papa John's? The best thing I saw about that, and I feel like I've cheated myself for a while. I don't know if you guys see on the internet, Plies does these videos. It's just him talking, right? But I never watch him. I never look at him. I see him and I just roll past and scroll past and scroll past. But for whatever reason, maybe this one was on somebody else's page and they captioned it with something that caught my attention. Whatever the reason, I clicked on this one and he's talking about the Papa John's pizza. Oh my God. I'm in here literally hollering, laughing at this idiot. And to the point where I saw another one too. I've seen two of these to this point. He was talking about side chicks. I highly recommend them. If you get a chance, don't do like me. Don't cheat yourself. Because I like Plies' music, or the music that I've heard from him in the past. I don't know if he's come out with anything lately, but I like Plies' music. But I didn't know that dude was that funny, man. He's a funny ass dude, and I highly recommend it. If you're all about that idiocy, like me, yeah, he's got some prime grade A USDA brand idiocy on those. I don't know if they're Instagram posts or Snapchat. I don't know what they are, but if you mess with Black Twitter or Black social media, you see them. Also tomorrow night, by the way, if you're into this, the Titans take on the Steelers tomorrow, Thursday Night Football. So that's the thing. The Bills once again have so screwed Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor talked about this. I think they're in the offseason. He talked about the the standards being higher for him as a black quarterback. And the Buffalo Bills have done nothing but prove him right in that assessment. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys remember, this offseason, Tyrod Taylor could have become a free agent. You know why? Because the Buffalo Bills signed him to what was supposed to be like a 5-year contract extension last year. But really, the way that the contract was constructed, one of those NFL contracts, the way they constructed it, it ended up being like a 1-year deal, like a year-to-year deal. So when he got hurt at the end of last season, they was trying to hold up the stuff about with his I think it was a groin injury, hamstring, groin, something like that. They was trying to hold up the money as far as, them cutting him or whatever, and then cutting him and then recouping some of the money that they had already paid him. So what ended up happening is that they voided the contract, and I'm thinking to myself at the time that it happened, I'm like, dude, you gotta hit the open market, man. You gotta at least prove, even if you're gonna go back to Buffalo, they have nothing else. Show them what your value is. Nope. I don't know who his agent is. He probably needs to fire that person, man, because all he did was come back and signed pretty much the same deal with a couple $1 million extra to it. He signed, this was on August 13th of 2016, right before the season started, right? A 6-year, $90 million deal that would pay him $9.5 million in 2016. I think this might be the wrong thing that I'm reading. This might be the first deal. I think this is the first deal. So follow me here. The first deal, in which he could make $20 million more dollars. That sounds good, doesn't it? Through difficult to reach incentives. So it's like, yeah, they could have put any amount. They could have put like $100 billion. If you put the incentives as you got to win 2 Super Bowls in a row and throw for 9,000 yards, if you do that kind of stuff, you can put any amount of money you want to as the incentive amount. It says the Bills can release him by the 3rd day of the 2017 league season or league year. Yeah, this is from last year, and pay him only the $9.5 million that he had already earned in 2016. So a 6-year deal turned into a 1-year deal just like that. And then this dude went back when really the only viable free agent quarterbacks was going to be like him, Kaepernick. I can't think of anybody else that was standing out there like, I got to get this dude. The Bucks went and got Mike Glennon. You think the Bucks, not the Bucks, I'm sorry. The Bears went down to the Bucks and got Mike Glennon. You think Tyrod Taylor wouldn't do better in that Chicago? That dude lost his job after the second game to a dude that at one point threw the ball 7 times in a victory. Mitchell Trubisky threw the ball 7 times. Yeah, trust me, I don't expect Tyrod Taylor to have his ass in Buffalo next year. You know what I'm saying? Like, who is this dude? No one even knows who this dude, this 5th round pick that they drafted him for. They benched him for. Nathan Peterson. Yeah, everybody sound like owls right now. Who's that? No one knows. No one cares. You two guys are going to love this part. Big L, I have no doubt you're going to love this part. Apparently the ratings are down this year. I'll allow you guys, if you want to take credit for it. I'll tell you guys again, like I said a few minutes ago, you're not making a dent in this. These racist ass white people that's making this happen. And also, I can't just give them all the credit. These badass games, having to watch Brock Osweiler and Tom Savage and these cats play football, no one wants to see that. And then even when the game do have the regular quarterbacks like Matt Ryan and Dak Prescott, you know what? The game is over by like halftime anyway. So there's no reason to look at it anymore. So yeah, the ratings are terrible. Let me tell you exactly how they I guess square up to last year's ratings. If I can find the freaking article. So Monday night's game between the Dolphins and the Panthers, right? Via Sports Business Daily, the game generated a 6.2% rating, down 21% from last year's Week 10 game between the Bengals and the Giants. And they're taking this week, using this week as the standard bearer because this would have been the week last year that the election was over, because a lot of people attributed the lack of ratings last year to the election, to Donald Trump mania and Hillary Clinton and all that kind of stuff. So now the 2017 games are being compared to those games last year, when the ratings increased. Before I choke out around here, the Week 10 ratings dropped in comparison to 2016. Sunday Night Football on NBC was down 19.6%. That was the Cowboys and the Falcons game on Fox that drew was down 18%. And the Sunday games in comparison from 2016, last year, the games were the Seahawks and the Patriots. The evening games were the Steelers and the Cowboys. So the games were presumably better last year as well. So we'll kind of watch this, as the season progresses and see where it goes. But I really, really think that a lot of these racist white people got turned off by the fact that these billionaire owner white boys didn't keep their N-words in check. Even though last week 3 people knelt because it was Veterans Week, I'm going to be interested to see. Every week, by the way, there's a report. Now, there's an official report on how many players protested. Don't know how many of you guys knew that, so that's kind of weird, but it happens, and it helps people like me who don't have to go looking for little articles on what team did what. It actually tells you how many people protested every week. Last week it was 3, and we'll see if it picks up next week that there is no fake ass military holiday to commemorate or whatnot. And I call it fake because for something like that, it's not Christmas or any of these other punk ass holidays. If you showing respect for somebody because of sacrifices that they made, you can do that every day, and you can do that in a much better way. And I talked about it on Monday. You can do that in a much better way than thank you for your service and running stupid ass PSAs. And the other day I was watching NFL Red Zone, and the NFL was donating $5 for every tweet with a certain hashtag to the charities of their choice. And it's like, look, man, you ain't got to make no game out of it. Just do it. You know what I mean? If you got the bread, obviously you got the bread to do it. It's earmarked for it. Just do it, man. You ain't got to make no game out of it. It ain't got to be the 11th day of November every year. You can do that joint in May when football ain't even happening. But it's all about, what's in it for me. It's all about that situation. Apparently Case Keenum is going to be the starter this year. I don't know how, this week again. I don't know how that's even an issue. Last week, that dude threw a pick, and immediately they had Teddy Bridgewater warming up. Dude ain't played in 2 years. You talking about disrespecting me, not putting no respect on my name. I know your name is Case Keenum, but damn. At one point in the game, the man had a perfect quarterback rating. Man throws a pick, and it's like, yeah, you know what? Teddy, get up. I know your leg ain't even really healed all the way yet. Get up anyway and start warming up. We might need you. Come on. Mike Zimmerman still talking about, there's going to be a time we're going to play Teddy this year. Why? Why, when you got a dude that's winning football games and playing well in these football games? He ain't playing like Mitchell Trubisky winning, 7 completions winning. He's throwing the damn football. Got that white boy healing and then Diggs. I don't know. It makes me say, more and more, these coaches are really stupid. They're not really that smart, at all. I was going to talk about coaches being fired, but I want to do this before this ends. This is kind of sad, man. This is one of the only times I've ever really read something and got emotional, to the point where after I was reading it, I gave it to my old lady. It was in Sports Illustrated. I gave it to my old lady who knew nothing about any of what was happening. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about here in a second. And I gave it to her, and she's real emotional anyway, but it really made her sick. And the thing that I'm talking about is the Ray Caruth thing. For those of you who are old enough to know who Ray Caruth is, Ray Caruth was a very fast wide receiver out of the University of Colorado. He ended up getting drafted. I think he got drafted by the Panthers. He ended up playing for the Panthers. I'm not sure if he got drafted by him, but I know he ended up playing with the Panthers. And while he was there, he got a young lady pregnant. And They were in a relationship. They were boyfriend and girlfriend, but things went south when the young lady got pregnant. Went south to the point where this douchebag individual hired 2 hitmen. He set his girlfriend up, his baby mom's up for a hit. And they carried out the hit and killed her. They got her to the hospital in time. Before they got her to the hospital, though, she called 911, holding on to life. You know, that mother strength, you know what I'm saying? That stuff they talk about when moms start lifting cars off of babies and all that. That mother strength allowed her to stay alive enough to call 911 to come get her. And she told him who did it. She told him who did that to him. Ray Caruth did this to me. They have audio of it and all. It's mad crazy. And just it's probably the saddest thing ever, man. Anyway, the baby was born. But the youngster was born with cerebral palsy. You know, he's partially brain dead. They didn't know if he was going to walk. He's walking kind of, sort of now. They've done like a couple of even television specials about this. He's being taken care of by his grandmother, the young lady's mom. And I'm bringing all this up, by the way. I'm bringing all this up because Ray Caruth, after everything I just told you, Ray Caruth is about to get out of jail in the next few months. Let me see if I see it here. Anyway, let me just read this to you real quick. I think I got time, right? I got about 9 minutes left in the show. And I appreciate you guys just, bear with me, man. I know I'm ending this on a real, melancholy note, but this is one of the things. This was very, very emotional for me. This is from Scott Fowler of the Charlotte Observer. On November 16th, 1999, that's tomorrow, the son of former Carolina Panther Ray Caruth was supposed to die. Instead, Chancellor Lee Adams is about to turn 18 years old. If you see this kid's picture, man, golly, he's a spitting image of Ray Caruth. He looked just like him. It's creepy how much he looked like this dude, man. Chancellor Lee will reach this landmark as a gentle young man. He has lived his entire life in Charlotte, protected and emboldened by his loving grandmother, Sandra Adams, who has raised him from birth. The party she planned for her grandson is not a traditional 18th birthday party, but Chancellor Lee Adams is not your typical 18-year-old. He smiles more, for one thing. He also has cerebral palsy and permanent brain damage owing to the traumatic night of his birth. That night caused the eventual death of his mother, Sharika Adams, Sandra Adams' only biological child. Chancellor Lee seems untroubled by the dark circumstances that brought him into the world 10 weeks prematurely. However, he has known no other life other than the one that orbits around him, around the beloved grandmother he calls G-Mom. He doesn't speak. I do remember that from the story. He doesn't speak. But I remember one of the most amazing things that his grandma was telling a story about him, just how he's able to just feel this unhuman like empathy for people, empathy in a way that most people don't feel. She was talking about how he was at a basketball game, like a little league basketball game or something, and one of the kids who had lost was crying, and the young chancellor didn't even know the kid. He just sat down and was crying with him, like consoling him and crying with him, and I was like, damn, man, I don't know, man. This is why I get pissed off at people that say stupid crap, like religious people say everything happened for a reason. There's no reason for this kid to be the way he is. You know what I'm saying? It was the evil of another man that did something cowardly. And then I don't know if you guys remember how the story ended. He ended up going on the run, and where they found him at was in the trunk of a car. I think it was in a hotel parking lot somewhere in Nashville or something, with candy bars, money, and bottles of his own pee. And he's been in jail ever since. And I don't see the release date on here. I didn't really read down the article's kind of long. Oh, no, here it is. October 22nd, 2018. So like in a few months, so like 10, 11 months from now, this dude will be a free man. He'll be 44 years old, out of jail after orchestrating the murder of his I can't even call this dude his sons, man. His son, because like just normal dudes don't do this, man. And then, you know, now that we know what we know, there's gonna be the question of like the whole CTE thing and, you know, brain injuries and this type of stuff. Like even with that said, man, I don't know, man, because that's not a spur of the moment thing. This dude planned and called people and set up and paid people for this. Took this woman's daughter and left this, you know, she's an old woman now. Left her to tend to a special needs kid who is now a man. He's 18 years old now. So, you know, shout out to her, man. Shout out to her. And, you know, the strength, man, the strength of a black woman, the strength of a grandmother. Shout out to her, man. And if you ever get a chance, you can probably look some of this stuff up on YouTube or something like Ray Caruth, Chancellor Lee Adams' story, man. It'll break your freak. I don't care how hard or how tough you are, man. It'll break your damn heart. Straight up. All right, man. On that note, I probably should have dropped that into the show at a different time, because like it really saddens me, man, that happened to this kid, man, and then to see the strength that he has anyway. You know, it's inspiring in one way, but it's definitely, man, it's definitely sad as hell. Sad that someone could be that, you know, just that cowardly. Anyway, that's gonna do it, man. The Hump Day edition of the One Mic with Big Mike show is over. Apparently, Charlotte's trying to play some damn basketball. They're leading the Cavaliers by 1 point. Don't forget, you got the Sixers and the Lakers later on. That should be a pretty decent contest as well. So, you guys be safe, man. Hold it down for the rest of the week, the weekend. And I'll catch you right back here, man. Same time, same place on Monday. Oh, and don't forget, all you need is one mic.